Hey everyone, Avery here with Skip's Tactical Solutions, and I'm here with episode 2 of Tactical Tuesday. And this Tactical Tuesday, we have a special guest, and our special guest is Mr. Kenn Ross, and he is with Century Arms. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight. And as you guys come on, as always, please let us know where you are joining from. And if this is your first time tuning into a Tactical Tuesday, or a live video with us. So, Kenn, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Of course, thank you so much for joining. So, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
I am the creative director for Century Arms. As you mentioned, I've been a creative director for many, many years. I've worked in the automotive industry for a number of years, and I've also been in the firearms industry for a number of years now. I am what a creative director does is basically make everything look pretty. I handle design, I handle photography, a little bit of everything, videos, website design, whatever is necessary to get the job done.
Okay, so that's nice. So you work for Century Arms, which means that you are also connected with the brand Canik as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely right. We have Canik, Red Army Standard, and US Palm. Those are all of our brands, and you might see my dog's heads pop up here. Because I'm close to them, they want to be petted. But yeah, we have all 4 of those brands, and we're very proud of all of them. Yeah.
Great. So I have to say, this is such a pleasure for me because I am a true Canik fanatic.
All right.
I am a fanatic. And for me, I fell in love with them. And I was so surprised at how there were not more people who were pretty much educated on the product. Do you hear that often when it comes to the brand Canik?
Yeah, has been one of our, that is one of the reasons that I'm here with Canik, with Century, is to help bring some recognition to the brand. Myself and the marketing director, Adam Renola, we were brought on to help do that, help make it a family name and get it out there. We want it synonymous with all the other firearm brands that are out there.
Okay, so we're going to talk to our chat really quick and give some shout outs. So Richard, hey, thank you so much for tuning in from Arizona. We have Rod Wilson here from BA, Karen joining from Maryland. Thank you so much. Matt is here, and Pamela R is here from Riverview, Florida. And we have to talk about Pamela here very soon. And we also have the amazing Yarn Dragon Creations, which is my amazing moderator. And we have R1 Raven, who has a question for you that we will get to in a second. And Richard Hartman, I want to tell Richard, thank you, because he just donated. So he donated, I think it's $5. But thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate you for always supporting. Richard supports on YouTube, on Facebook, so I appreciate it. YouTube, Facebook, and then on Instagram as well. He's been here since the beginning, so thank you so much, Richard, for the nice donation. And okay, so we have DC Rough Rider that said TP9SF all day. I love that as well. And Pamela said a new Canik fan. So I'm going to give you a really quick story on Pamela, and I hope that she doesn't mind. So she did a gun purchasing consultation with me recently, and she had her stuff together. She did all of her research, and she was just educating me on this product. She's like, and it has this, and it has this, and I really like this. And can we compare this to this? And I really want to shoot it. So she talked about what she wanted for her firearm purchase, but then she had already done her homework on it. So I told her she was like way more prepared than the average student or consultation that I normally get, because she she knew everything, and she had watched the videos and did the research, and I was sitting back like, okay, I see you, but she wanted to shoot next. And we compared the subcompact to some other subcompacts so that she could see how it looked. And I want to give her a shout out because she did her homework, and I do appreciate her for taking her personal protection into her own hands, but for also supporting me as well. But yeah, she's a new fan.
Well, that's great. We appreciate you as well. Thank you very much. Thanks for doing your homework. I'm also a firearms instructor, and that's one of the things that you don't see a lot is people actually go out and do the homework before they make a purchase. They usually buy, and then they end up buying again once they realize that the handgun didn't really work out for them. So I'm glad that she took her time and spent her time in the stores, online, and found the right gun that fit her. And I'm glad that it was a Canik.
Absolutely. And with that, a shout out to her son as well, because he, I want to say she said that he owned one and educated her on that as well, but she did her own homework. Oh, she was very prepared. And then I was like, oh my God, like we like the same thing. Like it was pretty nice. All right. So we have Texas Soul and Souls here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I saw someone else pop in. Rod Wilson said, I just ordered FSX. Let's see. Someone asked about, R1 Raven said, I just got my whiteout SFX in last week. Amazing, amazing piece.
Excellent. I'm glad you got a chance to grab that whiteout. That is a limited edition. We didn't make a whole lot of those. And a lot of people now are emailing me. I get emails almost every day. Where can I find a whiteout? So if you did purchase one, and if you see one in a gun store still sitting on the shelf, you better snatch it up because they're going quickly. Did
you say exactly how many you guys?
No, I actually don't have the number in front of me exactly how many we did. It was a very limited amount, 5,000 or something like that we did, and I'm not sure exactly what that number is, but I know that we don't have any. We've got one in the office that we use for photographs. That's the only one I know of in our company right now. So.
Yes, I saw one when I went to SHOT Show, and it looked really nice. Let's see. Matt said, a big heck yeah from Texas. Doing the right research on your firearms is very important. We have Roman Tech here. He said hello.
Tell him I said hello.
Pamela said it was nice seeing your face light up when I mentioned Canik. That's a brand that you don't often hear people talking about, which for me, I fall in love with things that I know are quality products. Like it's not just a name that I fall in love with. It's a good product, it's affordable. And I put that, actually I'll talk about that a little bit later, but when it comes to that, I have another question. How do you say it? So it's Turkish, right?
Yes, it is Turkish. Yeah, we do import them from Turkey. We are the U.S. importer of the North American importer of Canik. It is pronounced Canik, and if you go to Turkey, they may say it another way, but we've got them even saying Canik in the corporate office in Turkey. So that is what we're calling it. That is what it shall be.
Okay, great. I know many people, they're like, no, that's not how you say it, but I figure I have the expert here, so why not just ask?
I've been there for almost a year now, and I have not heard it pronounced any other way than Canik.
Okay, great. So we're good to go there.
Yes, we are good to go.
Roman, I will check. I picked up some mail today, so I'll check and look if it was in my mail. Let's talk about some of the things that you guys have going on at Century.
Okay, absolutely. Well, we've got a lot going on, actually. We've got, this is a very unique time, with everything that's going on. We've got the entire firearms industry is doing really well. There are a lot of new buyers in the industry, and a lot of our firearms are flying off the shelves. We are selling them as fast as we can make them, and which is very fortunate for us considering what's going on. You hate to see, you hate to say that we're making profit off the backs of a bad time, which is what we're in. But hopefully they're purchasing these things for the right reason, or I'm sure they're purchasing these things for the right reason, to protect their family. So it is a good time in the firearms industry, and Canik and Century and US Palm and Red Army Standard are all doing really well. We're turning out AKs as fast as we can do them. We've got 2 American brands. We've got the Visca and the C39V2 that are all American AKs, and as well as importing a number of additional AKs that we bring to market.
So I want to talk about the all-American AK. So what brought on the drive to have all-American made AKs?
Well, yeah, some of it is financial, obviously, because AKs, we were importing them. We were we are the largest importer of firearms into the United States, surplus firearms into the United States, and part of that is those markets are starting to dry up some. Either their AKs are being used in conflicts, or they are not producing them as much as they used to. So it is to our advantage to start producing firearms, and we decided that it was time for us to start making an American-made AK. So this is our 3rd rendition, I believe, and we're doing pretty good. We've got the Visca, which is our latest model. It is a stamped receiver and wood furniture. It also comes in polymer furniture, and we've got different versions of it that you can purchase. And it is doing very well for us. The C39V2 is a milled receiver, and it's been doing as well. It's also been doing very well.
That's great. So when it comes to your AKs, what's really the demographic or the market for the AKs? That's
a great question. We are, much like Canik, we are the entry-level AK. We're not going to say that we are a Rifle Dynamics or a Fuller AK. Those are or a Occam AK. Those are $1,500 to $2,000 AKs, $1,500 to $2,000 AKs, custom AKs that you have made to your specification. We are you go to the gun store, you go to your local Cabela's or Bass Warehouse, and you go, hey, I decided I wanted to make my first AK purchase. You don't know much about the AK, and we're going to give you a good product. You're going to walk out of there, and you're going to, and at some point, just much like your AR or your handgun, you may decide at some point you want to purchase a Nighthawk Custom or a Daniel Defense later on down the line. But when you first get started, you always want to go, okay, I want to see if I even like this firearm. That's our market. We are the first AK that you'll buy.
Great, thank you so much for educating us on that. So really quick, I want to say thank you to Marv. I think this is a super chat. So a $5 super chat. I've been here, laugh out loud, just cooking and listening, but shout out to you, sister, and tonight's guest. Thank you so much, Marv. Marv is a Patreon supporter, and he has been supporting me and my channel for a while. So I appreciate Marv. He always comes in to the live chats and supports with a super chat. So thank you, Marv.
Thanks, Marv. Appreciate it.
Okay, so we have a question from Pamela R. And she said, what's the best ammunition for the Canik subcompact?
We always recommend quality ammunition. And I'm just going to speak from my background and my knowledge of training. There's range ammunition that I use, which, you can purchase a box of 50 for $13, $9 to $13, and you go out and you plank on the range. And if you have a misfire or a mishap with it, then you just tap rack and you keep going. But when you're looking for quality ammunition, I always recommend buying 2 or 3 brands, taking the firearm without, running those 2 or 3 brands through there, understanding where it impacts on the target, what runs best through your gun, what kind of recoil you're getting from it, so you understand that. And then the third box of that ammunition is what you actually load the firearm with to carry. So, you know, you end up spending a little bit of extra money, but you know exactly where your firearm is going to impact on the target. You know what kind of recoil feedback you're going to get from that. So that quality ammunition for carry and a little cheaper ammunition for the range. But Caniks pretty much eat everything. I haven't seen them pick up on anything.
Yes. When it comes to ammunition, I think it's very, very important what Kenn just said. You know, you need to run a few different brands through there to see what brand fits well with your firearm. And especially when it comes to your personal protection ammo, self-defense ammo, you need to run that through your firearm, because if you don't want to find out that that doesn't feed properly when you actually need to use your firearm. All right, so we have another question. So R1 Raven said, same question for the SFX. There are rumors on the net about needing NATO plus P.
That is exactly that. It's a rumor. You don't need plus P ammo. You know, I've run Caniks with range ammo. You know, when we go out and we do videos, we don't go out and buy plus P NATO plus P ammo to shoot them so we can run a video. We go out and we either use our Red Army Standard white box, or we buy some Winchester white box, or whatever it might be. And we go out and you know, run hundreds of rounds through there where we're doing photos and video. I have yet to see one of them choke on anything. So I would suggest that he goes to a range, he rents a Canik, go to his local range. If they don't have one, tell them to get Caniks in there that you can rent, and try it for yourself.
Yes, and I want to back up a little bit, because I don't think I properly introduce why I'm bringing certain companies onto the Tactical Tuesday. So for me, I think it's extremely important for you all to hear directly from the companies. I like to make these connections at these companies because I want to be able to ask your questions. If there's concerns that you have with your firearm, like why is this breaking on this, or why is this manufactured this way? We need to be able to ask those questions. And I don't want to always have to rely on someone else. Like, I would like to hear it directly from that company. And I've made those connections so that you can have a company like Century directly in front of you, and you can bring your concerns, or you can also tell them how much you love their products, or hey, have you guys ever thought about changing this or updating this? And if there is a company that you would like to see for a Tactical Tuesday live stream, please let me know, because I want to bring them to you. I want to ask those questions. I want us to see some of the new products when they come out. I don't want to have to wait until it's been out for 3 months and ask someone else for it, or to be able to do a review on a product. I would like to have those connections to where you can hear my perspective on a firearm instead of hearing a perspective from someone else that may not have the same build as you, or just have the same outlook on things as you do. Because I like things that are affordable. You will never hear me talk about you buying something cheap. We don't want to buy things that are cheap. We want to buy things that are affordable and things that are quality as well. So Tactical Tuesdays used to be Talk to Me Thursdays. Thursdays were no longer good, so we turned them into Tactical Tuesdays now. And Tactical Tuesdays, we are bringing guests along with us so that you can just learn about them and see some of the faces that are behind these brands. I will tell you, when it came to the 2A community, I didn't really see a lot of African Americans in the 2A community. And when you kind of see them, you're like, hey. And it was really nice that this is one of my favorite brands. Like, I talked about Canik all the time, and I would do my live chats and I would go, I would love for them to make this in a size that I can carry, because now, you know, I'm still carrying in my purse, or if I'm wearing something really baggy, but I would like to have a subcompact. So when that came out, it was a game changer for me. And I really, really loved it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to wait to get it. I'm going to wait to get it. And then my husband ended up surprising me and he purchased it for me. So
That's great. Like your husband's one of my favorite people now. And the subcompact, we're really excited about it as well. Yeah, you saw at SHOT Show that we now offer it with the Shield optic, which is a $250 to $300 optic, depending on where you get the SMS2. And you can purchase it on the gun for $645. So you're looking at a red dot optic already in the box. You mount it to your gun, you co-witness it, and it co-witnesses with the rear and front sight already for $649 MSRP. So it's going to come in under that because that's what sellers do. They drop it a little bit and it comes in under that. So I'm guessing off the top of my head, it's probably going to come in under $600. So which is a great deal for an optic ready firearm with an optic on it already. Comes with a holster, back straps, and a little toolkit inside of the box. It's hard to beat that deal. Yeah, and I sound like I'm doing the I work there sales thing, but I joined the company. I joined Century. Canik was one of the main reasons that I joined Century because it is a very well made firearm at a very reasonable price. And it's like you said before, Avery, it's a quality firearm at a reasonable price. And I can get behind that.
All right, so you mentioned like the packaging with it, and I showed this to Pamela as well because I'm really impressed with the packaging. Let's say, for instance, someone only has a small amount of money and they want to purchase, like they're going to get some cleaning in there. And then they're also going to get a holster in there. And it's not just a cardboard box with some things thrown in it. Like there's actually some thought that's put into it. And everything has its cutouts and its neat place. So I really like that as well.
Yeah, and you're right, Avery. That's a great point. All of the Caniks, except for the 1 series, which is our discount count. The 1 series, I'll explain that in a second. But all of our products come with a number of accessories. That's like you said, that's one of the highlights of Canik is when you open the box, depending on which model you get a number of back straps. You get the cleaning kit. You get a little small tool kit with it. The manuals, obviously. You get a holster. And depending on the model, some number of spare magazines. So it's a very nice package, especially for a first handgun. So you can fit the gun to your hand. You've got everything there you need to clean it. You've got a small tool kit as well, and for a first-time holster. Maybe you don't keep that holster, but as soon as you buy that gun, you don't have to wait 3 weeks for a custom holster to come. You can take it, run your 200 rounds, 500 rounds through it at the range to make sure it does what you want it to do, and then you can carry it.
I really, really like that. So you guys are probably thinking, like, is she trying to sell us on this? But I'm not.
I am. No.
I'm not. All I'm doing is I'm being completely honest with you all on products that I like. I'm not a fan of anyone wasting their money. And what I'm not telling you to do is to go out and buy this just because I like this. That's what I'm not doing. I like to explain to you all why I like a product, what makes me feel like this is a quality product. And something that I want to share when it comes to the Canik is I think I fell in love first with my TP9, right? And I knew how I felt when I shot that, and it just felt good in my hands. And for everyone who has like their favorite firearm, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like when it feels good in your hands and then it shoots accurate as well, you're like, this is a keeper. I like to put something like that in the hands of someone who was inexperienced with firearms, because I like to build their confidence. So that is, as an instructor, that's one of my go-tos. I'm like, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out with this, and then we're going to move on to this. And people are always like, so what was that first one that we shot again? And I'm like, this is what it was. But I find that that's something that's really good to get someone into shooting. And you can really turn someone off from shooting really quickly, in my opinion. I don't know about yours, but in my opinion, you can turn someone off from shooting very quickly by putting the wrong firearm in their hands. How do you feel about that, Kenn?
I agree wholeheartedly. You know, I think that a number of times people's first purchase are typically guns that might be too small for them because they think, oh, I want this gun that'll fit in my pocket or in my purse or in my, small of my back or whatever. And they purchase guns that may be too small or too large for them. Finding a gun that fits you just right is half the battle. And the TP9 is a great gun for range work. Yeah, it is a nice size. The back straps, like I said, are interchangeable. So if you need to swap those out, they're pretty easy to swap out. And the trigger is amazing. Out of the box, the trigger is fantastic on those guns. So
I do like the trigger on it as well. That's something that, like, I can just go to the range and I'm not worried about. I don't like shooting because, the recoil or, it's just not enjoyable to shoot. Like, I went to the range probably about 2 weeks ago, and I was reviewing a product, and it was the worst thing in my hands ever. Like, it was just like tearing up my hands, and it was just not a joy to shoot. So I have to tell you that when it comes to this, I really do enjoy shooting it. And it's not just me that enjoys it. I'm able to put this into the hands of the students, and I can just see the excitement. And then it's always, so what was that first gun again? And I'm like, this is what it is. And then they'll go and they'll do their homework. But I am a fan, and we're gonna check out some of the comments really quick. So Ronald Hotboy, so sometimes I like crack myself up when I'm reading their names. Ronald Hotboy said, I'm just tuning in. Do you all specialize in AK only?
When you say no, well, clearly, since you just tuned in, no, we're talking about Canik right now, which is a handgun. Most of our firearms, as far as rifles, do lean towards AK. We do have a 308, which is close to a Setney type of rifle. We do have, but they all tend to be what you would call com block type of firearms, AKs, those types of rifles.
So I have another question for you. Is there a steel frame TP9SF in the works similar? Go ahead.
There is a steel frame. It is not one that we manufacture. It is not one that we carry. It is the one Canik model that is carried by another distributor in the United States. And I actually, to be honest with you, I don't even remember who they are right now. I would tell you if I remembered who carries it, but it is out there. There is a metal frame Canik that is out there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela said that her stimulus check is burning her pocket.
Well, with the prices of Caniks, if you're getting the minimum that Trump is sending out, then you can go ahead and you can buy that, and you will still be able to go pay off some bills. So a lot of your bills. So you'll still have over $1,000 to pay off the rest of your bills if you buy the right Canik.
So can you talk about the price points of the Caniks?
Yeah, I can. Let's see. Let me make sure I get them right. So I'm going to take out my little handy dandy brochure here that I've got in front of me. Actually, it runs anywhere between around $300.
We got you back.
You there?
Yeah, we got you back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, $300 to $800, somewhere around there. That's we don't have anything that's over $1,000 right now. And that includes some guns that come with vortex optics, threaded barrels, salient arm designed barrels and sights, and you know, we've got with mag wells, flared mag wells, and extended magazines. You know, we've got some. If you really want to see some of our great firearms, check out the Combat and the Combat Executive. The Combat Executive is black with gold, with a gold barrel and threaded barrel, extended magazine, flared mag well, and salient arm designed sights and barrel on it, and a few other salient arm designed parts on it. And the Combat is the same way. It's FDE with a salient arm designed barrel and sights on there with flared magwell and threaded barrel. And none of these are over $1,000. You know, so where you might spend $600 on another brand, pistol brand, you know, I'm not going to call any names because there are plenty of them out there that you would spend that amount of money on, $600, and then you send it off to a customizing shop to have it stippled and then have the slide cut and have the barrel, put a new barrel in it and put a optic cut on it. And by the time you get it back, you spent $2,500 on a Glock, on a firearm that you only spent to spend $600 on. You know, it is, that's an expensive proposition. Not that it's not going to be a great gun. I own several of these types of guns, you know, from different manufacturers. I'm a gun guy. Yeah, I didn't get into this industry because I'm a Canik guy. I'm a gun guy. I love firearms. I've got one from every manufacturer out there, just about, you know, from old Colts all the way up to Glocks that are customized and tricked out. You know, because I'm a gun guy. I love the industry, but if I'm going to, you know, honestly look at price versus value, it's hard to beat the Canik value.
I have to agree with that. So let's check out some of the comments. So I don't know how to say this name, so I'm just gonna say N. So they said, shout out to Century Arms. They came through in a big way last year for our gun club's free women's class last year by gifting us 3 Canik pistols. So that's really nice.
We work really hard at reaching out to the gun community. We are huge Second Amendment advocates. The company itself, we contribute to a number of Second Amendment organizations out there, and we work really hard at that, supporting the gun community. And I'm glad we have had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that, because I think some of the brands kind of forget that they're pretty much nothing without their customer, right? Their customer is the one who's purchasing the product. And if you give back, people are going to recognize that, and they're probably going to support you even more. So I really appreciate that Canik did that. And then I also appreciate the fact that you guys are just well versed at what's going on within the community.
We try, and you know, are we excellent at our customer service yet? No, we're working on that. You know, as all brands should be, working to constantly improve their communication with their customers. We're working hard at it, and you know, we will continue to grow and get better.
Absolutely. Let's see what else we got out here. And James Scott said, I've always heard good things about the TP9.
Yeah, great. Yes, you should, like it said, go to your local gun shop. If they don't have one back there for you to rent, make sure you ask for it. That's one of the things that we really need to do, is get those guns out there. It's a quality firearm, and it needs to be in those gun stores. So go out there and bug the gun owner about it, the guy behind the counter, and say, hey, we want to rent these. Get some back here, and get some Caniks in. Give them a call. We'll take care of them. Our sales guys would love that.
Now, I want to tell everyone that is tuning in, we need you to hit that thumbs up. And if you can't hit the thumbs up right now, it's okay. You can wait until the video's over. But we also want you to hit the arrow down below and share this video with someone. Share this video with someone that you think may be interested, or someone who may just need to hear what we're talking about. Next, we're going to, Joe said, is Century looking at any new market segments besides Canik AKs?
We're always looking at new business opportunities. The owners are very good about that. They're always looking to expand the company. Our most recent purchase was US Palm, which we haven't talked much about, but US Palm is legendary in the AK industry as being one of the quality magazines out there. And Century went out and saw an opportunity there. We purchased the brand and brought that back. Right now, we've started with magazines and grips, but look for that to expand. Yeah, we didn't purchase it to just make magazines and grips. We're going to continue to expand that brand.
That's good. Always looking for new business ventures.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a couple other questions that I'm going to ask. But before I do that, I want to give a quick shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. If you don't know what Patreon is a way for you to support your favorite content creator. It is all things I want to support you, and then there are certain things that you may get in return. And for me, I have Aaron Hairston, Adam Jimenez, Chris Fulmer, Demont, Deanna Hunt, Donovan, G. Webbs, Ken Blanchard, Marv Lee, Michael Stan, Natalie Zett, Sonia H., Turbo 1889, Barden Gilroy, and Wallace Tucker. I mess up Barden's name every time. I'm just going to have to start saying his name first. But thank you so much to all of my Patreon supporters. And my Patreon supporters support me by donating any amount from $1 a month to $10 to $15 a month, or $25. And what that does is it helps support me buy things such as ammo for a review video, or actually purchase a firearm. I don't know if you guys know this, but you're not always receiving a free firearm. So a lot of times people reach out and they want you to do a review on a product, but in order for you to do that review, you actually have to get your hands on it. And in order for you to get your hands on it, then you're going to have to purchase it. And you just can't afford to purchase all firearms that are out there, although some of us would like to. And what else they help me with is range fees. Whenever you guys go to the range, you got to pay a range fee. And whenever I pick up a firearm, even if the company is sending me the firearm temporarily for a review, I have to pay an FFL fee and a background fee. And those things tend to add up. And I have the podcast, and then I also have things such as software. Like, I know you guys noticed that your girl stepped her game up a little bit when it came to her videos. So videos like this, it takes for me to have a software that I purchase, and then having a nice backdrop like this, it takes for me to be able to purchase it in order to have nice videos. And then obviously when I do the review videos, those have to be edited. So all those things take time, and then they also take money as well. So I do appreciate all my Patreon supporters. And if you guys would like to donate to the Patreon, you can click the link down in the chat, and it is also listed in the description. And my Patreon supporters, they get first dibs on all the videos. So they get the link to see all the videos first, and they get first dibs pretty much on questions, or if there's ideas, they are the ones who are telling me, hey, you should think about this, or hey, can you interview this person? And I appreciate them for that, because sometimes I don't have to do the homework. They're doing the homework for me. And they also get a giveaway every month in Patreon, and it's only for the Patreon supporters. So it could be something as simple as a hat and a t-shirt from a company, but it's still something that they're getting for supporting me. So I appreciate you guys. And I think last month the giveaway was a tumbler, so they were able to get a Skips tumbler. So thank you guys that support me, and I appreciate you. Let's see. Pamela said, nice backdrop. Thank you, Pamela. So if you guys have been following me for a while, which some of you probably have not been following me for a while, but I used to do the videos, and you could see like I first started my videos in like my entryway. and they were like all dark, like, hey, is she in there? And then the videos were, they were like at my kitchen table, and then they kind of transformed to like their own area. So your girl is stepping her game up. One video at a time. So do you guys have a 10 mil Canik?
No, we do not have a 10 mil Canik. We right now, the only firearm caliber that we import are 9mm. There are, if you check out Canik Turkey's site, there are 40s that are available, and but we do not import those right now.
Okay. All right. So I want
if
to
if we make a 10 mil, I will have one. So. Okay.
So I want to give a really quick shout out to Richard Hartman. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And that is another way that you guys are able to support whenever you guys do super chats and super stickers. I think YouTube takes maybe like 30% of it. I'm not sure, but I do appreciate when you guys do that because it shows that you're supporting me, and it is greatly appreciated. All right, so we have R1 Raven said, is there any more limited edition models in the works, maybe with mag wells and other add-ons or other Cerakote colors or designs like camo? Great question.
That is a fantastic question. And there are limited edition Caniks that are out there. Lipsy's has a limited edition. I believe that one is a bronze slide version of the Canik that you can still get a hold of right now. And as far as coming directly from the manufacturer, we've got a few surprises up our sleeves. Yeah, we're not done yet. Yeah, we're not done yet. And we saw the popularity of the whiteout, and trust me, we're in the lab working on that constantly. So we've got some ideas.
Oh, nice. Maybe whenever they get ready to release it, guys, we can get like a heads up.
You're only a few hours away. I already promised you that you and your husband would get to shoot a lot of Caniks. So.
Okay, so I have to ask about something because I fell in love with it when I originally seen it. How popular was it Robin's Egg? Cerakote when it came out?
Actually, that was before my time when that one came out, but I can tell you that I have not seen one in Vermont, which is our manufacturing facility, or in our office in Florida. So it is gone. There is zero of that model, and the Canik fanatics have snapped it all up. So.
I saw that when I was like, that is nice. But then I saw the white, and I like that one too. Yeah. And I think he may follow me on Instagram, or maybe it was on YouTube. But the individual who actually won the whiteout, I think he said it was the one that was at SHOT Show.
Okay.
Yeah, he reached out, and that was nice. He said he won it. He's like, hey, can you run over to the booth and take a photo with it so I can see it? And I'm like, got you.
Yeah, we had quite a few winners. We gave a lot of things away at SHOT Show. We had more plans for NRA. Unfortunately, that didn't happen this year, but we're looking forward to the next major event, which will be SHOT Show again. And when we come back around to NRA, hopefully all of this madness is cleared up by then, and we can see you guys, because that's one of my favorite shows. You get to spend time with SHOT Show is fun because I get to hang out with people like you and people that are in the industry. You know, I got a lot of friends in the industry. It's one of the reasons I love working in this industry. But I love NRA because you get a chance to really see the people who care about the product, and they're there taking photos with it, and happy to meet you. And they were really excited about meeting the people behind the counter and our competition shooters that are there. They are excited to meet them as well. So it is really something to see the impact that your brand makes on the market.
Absolutely. And it was SHOT Show. I was able to do the video with Adam. That's his name,
yes.
Right?
Adam Manola. Oh, yes.
He made me look like I was
Yeah, he's probably 3 of you stacked on top.
I was actually standing on something when I was kidding. Yeah, that was really nice to be able to go to these things and see the people who are behind the brands and being in the industry. Like, I get to do that. Like, I get to come to the booth and say, hey, how are you? I love this product. Or, you know, are you going to make some of these recommended changes that we've been reading about, or, you know, people have talked to me about? And you're like, okay, well, we have this going on, or we have this going on, and, you know, stay tuned because now we have this coming up. And it's just really nice to have those relationships. And I learned that going to those, you get to build those relationships and make those connections and really see who's behind the brand, because I feel like that's extremely important as well, to know who's behind the brand.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you mentioned something earlier that I thought was really interesting, is the shortage of us in African American in the community, in the firearms community, and there's not many of us behind the counters. But one thing that I can say about the community is it is one of the best communities to work in. You know, it's just like everywhere else. If somebody doesn't like you, you know it very quickly. But I have found nothing but welcoming people in this industry. It is a lot of fun to work in. It is a lot of down-to-earth people who enjoy having a good time and enjoy talking about their products and building quality products. So, and that's throughout the industry, not just the company that I work for, but throughout the industry.
And you find that, so yeah, we're talking to Canik tonight, Century Arms, but then it may be like whoever is in the booth beside them, like all of these companies get along with each other, like, and they probably know someone who works at another brand, but they're still helping each other out and building those relationships. And it's not really about competition, because I can tell you, like Ken said earlier, like, he has a lot of different manufacturers. He doesn't only just own this one brand, because sometimes you may have one firearm that you really like for one thing and then another firearm that you like for another thing.
Or you just like all firearms and you want to buy them all, and yeah.
Or maybe you can win them.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a super sticker from Isaiah Smith. Thank you so much. He said, so Isaiah earlier said, and I was going to get to that. He said, hashtag still motivated is in the house. We love you, sis. Thank you so much. And we appreciate the super sticker.
One of your Patreons is like the godfather of the social media industry from the African American community, Kim Blanchard. He is old school in this industry, and if he's supporting you, that is quite the honor.
It is. He is amazing, and he did an interview with me. And when it came to Ken, he, like, I want to say he had over like 500 podcast episodes. Like, he had been podcasting for like 12 years. And so when I started to actually immerse myself in the Second Amendment community as far as a business owner, you know, I was doing my research and I started listening to his podcast. And I'm a very introverted person. Like, I'm listening to the podcast and I'm hearing what he's saying. And I don't want to say weird, but like when I listen to podcasts, I want to start from the beginning with them and I want to grow with them, right? Like, I want to hear how their beginning episodes were. Mm-hmm. And I want to say there was a time where he was like kind of blah, right? And he was talking about like stopping. And I reached out to him, which I'm not even that type of person. Like, well, I wasn't back then. But I reached out to him and told him how much I appreciated his podcast. And, you know, I was learning because he does a lot of history, which I think that's extremely important. And he reached back out to me and I was like, oh my God, like this man reached back out. And then we kind of formed a relationship. And I consider him one of my very, very good mentors when it comes to the Second Amendment community. And then just even life in general, because he is a reverend, but he's a really good person. And I was honored to be able to learn some things from him.
Yeah, He is definitely OG.
So let's see. When it came to COVID-19, did that impact your guys' production at all?
There are precautions that we have to take. Our main facility is in Vermont, which is our shipping facility. And then we've got our sales office, customer service, and marketing all down. And the ownership spends a lot of time in Florida as well. Just like everyone else in the industry, we have to take our precautions. Our manufacturing facility is down to only essential, and their masks and gloves and keeping these safe social distances while working, which is very difficult in a manufacturing facility because you're sweating and you want to touch your face, and I am really proud of the people in Vermont. They're doing a fantastic job keeping that going, and we've been very fortunate that we have not, knock on wood, had anyone that has come down with the virus. In Florida, we are. I'm working from home. Like I owe you some things, and I haven't been to the office to get things to you because we are working from home, and we're only in the office a very limited amount of time if we need to be in there at all. We're taking the precautions. From the business side, like I said before, the business is doing very well. Unfortunate that the circumstances are unfortunate, but the results for us have been positive.
That's good. So Pamela's asking about colorful Caniks, and I don't know if she's talking in regards to the subcompacts. So when it comes to the subcompacts, I know you guys have the black. Is it black?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not blackout.
Blackout. Yeah, we've got a blackout edition of the subcompact, and that will more than likely become a standard, one of our standard colors for the subcompact. And we've got the silver and black Canik as well. That one is the first one we came out with, and there will be more. Like I said, Lipsy's has an edition that has a chrome. I mean a chrome top, or not chrome, metallic goldish looking copper top and a black grip. And there will be more. I can guarantee you that there will be more colors coming. Yeah, that is going to happen.
So when it comes to colors, if there's anyone interested in colors, drop down in the comments below some colors that you may be interested in seeing. There was another question that we have Silverback reviews in here. So hey, Silverback, thanks for tuning in. I almost called him his real name. That's funny. All right, so R1 Raven said, is there a sign up to receive news of special editions or just news in general?
There will be. One of the things that's part of my job is to get a newsletter out, e-newsletter out, and we're working on that. So if you go to the site and you sign up for the e-newsletter, until I can't get the e-newsletter out until I get the site redesigned, which is coming very soon for Canik. It's right around the corner. I'm spending a lot of time working on that with a great team of people. That is coming out. The new site will launch very soon, and the e-newsletter to get updates on that will be out there as well. Keep an eye on our social media for sure. If you're not following us on Canik USA at Canik USA on Facebook and on Instagram, which is our primary thing. We have Twitter, but we primarily on Facebook and Instagram. You need to be following us there because you will see it there more than likely before you see it anywhere else.
It just seems so much easier to just.
It absolutely is. We can be at the range and we go, oh, this is hot. We got to show it to people, and we take some pictures and it's up there in the next 10 seconds. So
yeah. Absolutely. So we have Pamela that said red, blue, and olive when it came to the colors. And I don't know if you guys know this, but let's say, for instance, your firearm does not come in that one color that you want it to. You can always get that customized. So we have a couple. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you drop those in the chat below. And then I have a couple more questions for you. So will you come out with a P365/Hellcat size competitor?
You never know. That's all I'm going to say. I will say that personally, I believe that that is a firearm size that needs to be out there, and that's my personal opinion. I'm not saying that we have any. It should be out there, and there should be a Canik that size.
Yeah. So myself and Pamela, we were just actually, I was showing her the difference in the width and the length, and we compared the 365 and the Hellcat, so she was able to see. And sometimes, I mean, different strokes for different folks, but I'm glad to hear there may be something, maybe.
Well, yeah, it's especially living in a warm climate. I'm from Michigan, and this time of year, it's still on and off cold there. It's springtime in Michigan means that it might snow tomorrow. So you're still wearing, larger clothing. But when you get down here, I find myself carrying the smallest gun I can possibly carry, because I'm usually wearing, especially now that we're working from home, I'm wearing flip-flop shorts and a t-shirt almost every day. So carrying a large firearm is not always convenient, and you sweat in Florida all the time.
It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. You're like, why am I sweating? And it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. But I love it. I'm not complaining at all. Like I said, coming from Michigan, I could be shoveling snow. So.
Oh, I completely understand what you're talking about, because I lived in Montana.
Oh.
And we had, like, I want to say maybe 1 month of summer, and it was like, yay, it's summer. And then it's like, okay, now it's snowing again. So I do not ever complain about it being too hot here, because I know what it's like to be way too cold.
Yeah, and just a side note that has nothing to do with guns. It's all a Florida thing. So if anybody that's not a Florida person, I apologize for this sidebar. But the weather people down here have no clue of what a cold front is. They keep talking about these cold fronts, and it goes down to 70 degrees. And it's like, I want to move you to Michigan for 2 months in the wintertime and show you what cold front really looks like.
That's funny. People are like, it's too cold here, or it's too, and I'm like, Yeah.
All
right, so we have another $5 super chat. It is from Marbley. He said, thanks for tonight, Brother Ken. Sister Avery, you not slick with the shirt, laugh out loud. I love it. I still have my version in red. I always have to rep their brand. This is like the throwback shirt. This is like the first. Someone asked me, I was on a live, I think it was with USA Carry last week, and they asked me, like, so back here, so this is my logo now, and they asked me if that was my original logo, and I was like, no, that's not my original logo. I'm like, but I don't know where I can grab something that has my original logo. So this is my original logo. But yeah, Marv has his original Skips logo tee too, and he has a newer logo tee. So
Thanks,
thank you
Marv.
so much.
I appreciate the shout out. Thanks for the shout out, Marv.
He is always supporting. So quick question we are going to ask: AR-15, PCC, anything in the works when it comes to Canik, or even a thought of it?
We're working hard to bring new products to the brand. I can't talk about anything that we've got going on, right this second, but we're always working hard to bring new products to the brand. So we're not stagnant. We're not happy with where we are. We're always looking to grow and be better and bring you new products to you. If you follow Canik, you know that our sister site over in Turkey might have some things on there that we don't have yet. At some point, maybe they end up here. Yeah.
Nice. So R1 Raven, I think that kind of answers your question as well. And when it comes to importing those things, like, is there a certain time frame that it takes? Like, I know there's a lot of legalities that are attached to that, but how long does it normally take you or the company to get those things?
Well, one of the parts of our company that I didn't mention was our surplus division. And it is where we import through our surplus division massive amounts of products. I've watched trucks come in and unload guns from all over different places in the world. Our surplus division, if you go to the surplus part of our site, which is centuryarms.com, and you click on the surplus corner there, you'll see firearms from every brand name there, because it doesn't matter what that brand name is to us, as long as we can bring you that surplus, those surplus firearms, and you can have them sent to your dealer, and you can purchase them that way. It is a headache in some ways, because one, you're going to a totally different country and you have to figure out what their laws are, and then you have to go through our import laws here, and you have to follow, once you get them here, ATF requires you to enter it into your bound book within a certain period of time. So if we import 1 million guns into the country, 1 million guns in that at once, 1 million guns need to be in your bound book within the allotted amount of time but that the ATF gives you, and they don't care when what you brought in or when you brought it in. You just need to follow the rules. So it is a very difficult task. Forming those partnerships with other manufacturers or with Canik, it's a little different. We have to adhere to the U.S. laws and make sure that we abide by the regulations to import firearms. And there are certain things that you have to do. Make sure that the firearms meet certain requirements in order to be imported. So if Canik makes a submachine gun, for instance, we may not be able to import that because it may not meet those requirements by the United States to bring that into the country. Not just the fully automatic part, but so many parts that do certain things, and we would have to change them out here. And is it economically feasible for us to do that? To make those part changes on this side and still make a profit on it. So there are a lot of rules and regulations, but we have some really smart people in our company who do a great job of making that happen. And I look at their desk as I walk by and go, I can never do that job.
It's nice to see what goes on behind the scenes. And last year, I was able to go behind the scenes with Palmetto State Armory, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And talking to the developers, people want something to come in at a certain price point. And when they're looking for things to come in at a certain price point, there's other things that are attached to that. So I was able to talk to them, and they're like, we were able to get this all put together, but then it came to this price, and that's not something that the consumer wants. So we had to go back to the drawing board. So it was nice to see that and meet the faces that are attached to this too. So you may have one person who their baby is the MP5, and then you may have someone else that their baby may be the Dagger. So I like seeing the faces behind the brands, and then forming those relationships and asking them, well, what about this? And can you guys do this? And let me see that. Like, what's that over there on that table? They're like, don't worry about that over there on that table.
Yeah, you didn't see anything on the table.
That's funny. So another thing that I wanted to ask is, we kind of talked about this before offline. So new gun owners, are there any things that you would like to share with them, any type of advice that you may have? Because I know I see so many people talking about the fact that there are a lot of new gun owners out there. And I, for one, I'm very excited that there's new gun owners out there. But do you have any advice that you would like to share with the new gun owners?
Well, first of all, welcome to the fold. Having been in this industry for a long time, I remember when I bought my first, when I purchased my first firearm, and I looked at it for a long time and said, well, I don't really know if I can carry this, and how am I going to carry it? And I'm afraid to carry it, and everybody can see when I carry it. So there's a lot of questions that a new gun owner is going to ask themselves as they start this journey. part of the great part about the firearms industry now are people like yourself, Avery, because they are able to go to YouTube and see, get education from people like yourself and see some of the things that they can learn how to do, how to be safe with a firearm, and through virtual training, especially with the time that we're going through right now. There are a number of people like Avery and Tatiana Whitlock and different instructors who are doing virtual training and helping people understand how to keep themselves and their families safe. But the main things that I'd like to, that we should get across is, just be safe with it. There are the 4 firearms rule. You want to make sure that you adhere to those, and make sure that you're always pointing that gun in the safe direction. Make sure your finger's off the trigger. Make sure it's unloaded until it's ready to be used. And keep it away from unauthorized personnel or human beings, because that's we don't want it in the hands of our kids or even some of our teenagers and adults who might not be responsible enough to handle those firearms. So be safe, first of all, because if you're bringing a firearm into your home, I always tell people, if there's somebody comes into your home and they don't have a gun and you do, there's a gun in the house. They have a gun in the house. There is a gun there for them. If you don't know what you're doing with it, you're providing them with a firearm where they didn't have one initially. So be safe with it. And then once we're past this time, I would really like to encourage people to not just dump that gun into a box somewhere or into a drawer or into the top of a closet, but actually go out and spend some time on a range getting some training so that they gain an understanding as to what they're doing with that firearm. And I think that you'll really find that I do this because it's fun. I don't do this because I want to go out and shoot somebody. But being on the range is relaxing and therapeutic, and it's I compare it to golf in a way. People go, well, why would you go out and shoot on a range? Well, why would I go out and play golf for 3 hours? It's my golf. I don't swing a golf club, but I'll go out to the range and spend hours out there. It's therapeutic. I think you'll find the competitive side of it is a lot of fun, and just sometimes going out to the range and shooting by yourself, plinking with a 22 is a lot of fun. We used to do it with our kids. Take them out hunting and teach them how to shoot a gun, and teach them how to forage and collect food for themselves. And it's a good way to spend time with your family as well. So get out there, get some training as soon as we get past this COVID thing, and be safe.
Absolutely. I appreciate you for sharing that. I'm all about having families get out and get training together. It doesn't have to just be the husband going out or the mom going out alone. Like, this can be something that the family can do together, and it can bring that family close, and they can have that shared hobby that now it's not playing video games. It's, hey, we're going to go out and learn a new skill together, and we're going to get better at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I will say, though, I will caution you, guys who want to train, don't teach your wife. Send them to Avery or some other instructor, and it doesn't have to be a female. Just send them to anyone else but you, because that doesn't typically work out well. So.
Yeah, I think it's hard for a spouse to teach another spouse anything.
Yes, absolutely.
It typically doesn't go over well.
It makes for a long ride home.
I'm not going to ask you if you've experienced that before. So
I've seen it. I've done a lot of training, and I've seen it, and I've heard them get into the car, and I know that they had a long ride, and I just made sure that their firearms were in the trunk unloaded before they left the range. So
you're like, I heard it, like they were in the car, but I could still hear it.
Yeah, as they were driving away. This is going to be a long night for these people.
That's funny. So I have a $4.99 super chat from Richard Hartman. He said, I think I messed the first one up. This should make it right. Thank you so much, Richard, for doing that. I appreciate it. Something else that I wanted to talk about was the fact that there are a lot of products that your company offers, but a product that we didn't really get to talk about tonight was the Draco. Can we talk about the Draco really quick? I know a lot of people may not know particularly what the Draco is, but they probably heard about it in a rap song. So I would love for you to share with us the Draco.
All right, the Draco is exactly that. It's a cultural phenomenon. It is. You will hear about it in a rap song. You'll see it on a rap video, and the quality of the rap songs. Some of them are good. Some of them are really not very good at all. But but you will hear about it, and it is an AK pistol. It is much like an AR pistol would be. It's an AK version. We've got a Draco, a mini Draco, and a micro Draco, and of all different lengths. They get shorter as you go down to micro, and it is a lot of fun to shoot. It is, and it looks really good in rap videos. But it's a product that we're very proud of, and we can't keep them in stock. They go very quickly.
So when it comes to the Draco, do most use it as kind of like a novelty firearm?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a great question, Avery. What usually happens, and I would attribute this to most rifles that are purchased by a number of individuals, first-time rifle buyers in the community. Not all, but a lot of them buy an AR, and it becomes they go out to the range and they shoot it maybe once a year, or when they go into their uncle's backyard who has property, and they'll go out and shoot off a few rounds during a barbecue or something like that. So yeah, the Draco could fall into that. Yeah, but we've got some hard use people in our office. We've got and we've got hard use people who call us and say, hey, I want to attach a brace to my SB tactical brace to my Draco, and use it as my go bag gun. And it is the 7.62x39 round is an amazing round, and it does some really cool thing at intermediate ranges. And I think that it is a very good round for to protect yourself with, and the Draco fits right into that. Being a very compact firearm that can be concealed very easily, and if you need it as a truck gun or a go bag gun, it works really well. A rifle caliber that is very concealable.
What's price point for that? Like minimum to maximum for the Draco?
That is in the 500s up to the 800s, depending on the configuration you get it in. So if you purchase it with the brace, and we also offer it in 9mm, which I think you've shot before, which you and I've gone back and forth on. Yeah, but but it comes in 9mm as well. The NAC9 and the NAC9X, which are 9mm versions of that. So, you can get all of those for under, I would say, $900.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Silverback Review said, I'm waiting on RSR to restock. I have several customers waiting on Dracos. Yeah,
and I apologize, Silverback. You're absolutely right. Like I said at the beginning of this, when we talked about the COVID and how it's affecting the business, it is going very quickly, and Dracos are flying off the shelf. RSR is a fantastic partner. We work very well with RSR, and they do a good job of calling us and saying we need more, and we send them as fast as we can make them. So we'll get that to RSR so they can get it to you. Thanks, Silverback.
And for anyone that does not know, Silverback Reviews is on here, and he is located in, I'm going to say, Michigan. I hope that is right.
My home state of Michigan. All right. I like him even more now.
But if I'm not right, he will correct me in the comments, and I will correct it. But
well,
he is
anywhere, but if he says Ohio, then I won't like him. But I'll take every other state.
He is a FFL, and that is someone that you can purchase your firearms through. So if you want to support a small business, you can go to Silverback Review, Wisconsin. That's where he's
Wisconsin. Yeah, that's fine. Wisconsin's not bad. I'll take Wisconsin as long as it's not Ohio.
My bad, Silverback, but you can go and you can contact him and purchase firearms through him and support a small business. And so we have a question from M. Gabriel. He said, does Century make a side reel for the RES 47?
a side rail for the RAS-47. The RAS-47 does have an optics rail. A version of it does have an optics rail attached to it. If you did not purchase that optics rail, then there are manufacturers that make optic rails that attach to the dust cover or just in front of the dust cover. Midwest Industries is one of those manufacturers that you can take a look at.
All right, so if you guys have any last questions for Kenn, please go ahead and drop those in the comments. I'm not going to keep him too much longer, but I do want to say I really appreciate you for coming on tonight. You are always a joy to see, and this was a great chat, like with one of my favorite brands, so it was an honor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you inviting me on, and it was my honor. I've been a fan of the show for a long time. I knew you before I even got down here to Florida. I knew of you and kept track of what you were doing. So I'm really honored to be here and proud of where you're headed and what you're doing.
And I think the first time we met, was it NRA 2019?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
we got a photo
up against the
together.
wall. Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I was like, oh, I didn't get his name. Like, he was so nice. And it always takes me back when someone's like, oh, hey, Skip, how are you? Like, can I get a photo? And I'm like, you want me to take a photo of you with someone else? Like, no, can we get a photo together? I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So I'll have to throw that picture up soon because it was me, you, and Kim with Provectus. And again, I look like a little small person in between both of you guys. But it was, it was great. I think there's like a trend here. Like, I take these pictures and I'm like the shortest one. And they're like, oh, these people are only like 6 foot tall. But yes, it was great to have you on tonight. We have a lot of people saying thanks. Karen Rodriguez, thanks. Christopher Perry said thanks. Pamela said, thank you, Kenn and Skip. I learned a lot. Now to find a Canik may need to. And Joe said, thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to good things from both of you. And Richard said, thanks, Kenn. We have Yarn Dragons that said, thanks, was very helpful. And Isaiah Smith with Still Motivated. So thank you so much. It was great. I was able to learn some stuff. And I'm excited about what you guys have coming out. Like, I'm going to be pinging you all the time. Like, are we ready yet? Are we ready yet?
And I will appreciate that. You do that. And we'll keep in touch. Like I said, you're only a few hours away. We'll make sure that we get you on the range and get you behind some of the new stuff that we come out with.
Absolutely. So thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. As you know, I love to give things away. So for tonight's giveaway, we will do a sticker pack. So all you have to do is comment sticker pack in the comments below. Make sure that you've given this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to, you can share this on social media. And if you share it on social media, make sure that you tag at Skip's Tactical Solutions, whether you share it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Tag me so that I can see that you share it, and I would love to share it as well. But the sticker pack we're going to be giving away will be some random stickers, but we have...
No, wait. Put that sticker down. Yeah, we're going to change that now. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm the guest, so I get to make this call. Okay. So we're going to give away a Canik T-shirt.
Okay.
Right? And it is a collector edition T-shirt. It is the Pew Pew T-shirt that looks like the Tic Tac candy dispenser. We're going to give that away. And we're going to give away a Canik patch as well, which was the hit of the show. And you can buy it at on eBay for like $30 now, which is the large Canik patch, Pew Pew patch. We're also going to give away some Canik and Century stickers. All of that will be coming to Avery very quickly because I'm going to go in the office and do it tomorrow just so we can do it, just so you're not giving away that other company's stuff in front of me.
So the sticker pack is just like random stickers, but we are only doing Canik things tonight. So what we're going to do is everyone that's on the live, what you will do is comment sticker pack in the comments, right? And then make sure that you also give this video a thumbs up. Share the video in the description, right? So after this video is done, we're no longer live. I need you to comment down in the comment section of the video and put Canik or Century Arms, whichever one you like the most, Century Arms or Canik. Put that down in the comments below and we will pick another winner. So there'll be 2 winners. We will have a winner from the live chat and we will also have a winner from sharing it in the description below as well. So thank you so much for donating products for the giveaway. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for Sticker Pack. And Marv, I already got you for that. I got you for the Patreon. Patreon supporters, you know I got you. I got you guys. At SHOT Show, he had some, I asked him if I could get a shirt because I love the brand, and they didn't have my size.
What is it, tiny? We didn't have extra tiny.
They didn't have extra tiny, so I was able to get something for my Patreon supporters. So Patreon supporters, look out for something Canik related, okay? So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you for joining us tonight, and I love what you're doing, and I love how you're supporting us. Like, you're with the manufacturer, and you're also supporting the small guys like me as well, and you're talking directly to the consumer. So if you have any questions, make sure that you send them to me and I will send them to him, but I also typed his information in the chat. Would you like to share where they can follow you if they like to follow?
Sure,
or
absolutely.
Follow the brand?
You can follow me personally at CrossTech. You can find me on Instagram, KROSSTAC. You can find me at Instagram. I'm on there all the time. You can also find the company. You can find Canik. You can find Century Arms and US Palm at US Palm, at Century Arms, and at Canik USA on all social media platforms. We're primarily on Instagram and Facebook, so check us out there. And we're always happy to talk to you. Always looking for, if you take cool photos, definitely tag us. We'll repost you. We're really happy to do that, and we're really glad to see our products out there in the wild. So.
Great. So we have one more super chat. $2 from Marvely. Marv said, please join us again soon, brother Ken. So that means that you have to come again.
I'm going to be here whenever you tell me to be here. I'll be here.
And if you are someone who supports the podcast, we will be doing a podcast episode with him as well. So send those questions so that we can get those answered on the podcast. I think we're going to get to know Ken a little bit better too, because he has some pretty interesting hobbies that we want to learn about. So have a good night, everybody. And thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Tactical Tuesday. Have a happy and a safe week. Talk to you later.